Alrighty, gang, back at it again with a new video. In this video, we'll be going over the release trailer for the Path of Exile 2 Dawn of the Hunt content reveal and the new classes and new stuff that just dropped not too long ago, like 3 days ago, I want to say. We're going to be getting right into those. When you guys see this video, it's probably going to be more like 6 days. But yeah, I'm just looking at this now, checking it out, and we're going to get right into this video. And I'll give my opinions and overview of it, and let's get right into it.
I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about and huge expansions on character systems like unique items and support gems.
Oh, let me turn this down.
After that, it's on to the in-game improvements, including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content.
Ooh.
We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. Now we have a lot to cover today, so let's get started with a trailer for Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt.
Okay, we're going to take a look at this trailer.
We as Mary are guided by the Spirit. It provides prey,
Ooh.
shelter, even love. But for me, one day, all that were changed. The Spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden.
Huh.
And to defend all I loved.
Ooh, that looks like a cool skill. Oh, that's like a javelin.
I lost.
Wait, was that like a javelin? Like a javelin throw? That looked pretty interesting. Is that like one of the new skills we're gonna get? Hope so. That looks cool. So what, just use spears, javelins type deal? Let's keep going. Let's see what we got going on here. But this is looking super interesting.
Everything that day. But fate weren't finished with me yet. I'll right the wrongs I've done. I'll do what I must, no matter the cost. I will hear the Spirit once more.
Okay. So it's a throwable spear. I like that. I like their skills. The throwable spear one, that looks nice. I like the skills. I like the animations. It's just getting me excited for this new class. This is something I want to do. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, this is looking exciting. This is looking very good. I like this. I like this so far. Looks insane. But yeah. Ooh. Ooh, what do we got going on here? And we are going to be riding mounts is what it looks like. She is on a mount. This looks like gameplay footage. And it looks like we're going to be able to ride mounts with this class. That's what it looks like. And then you can dodge roll off the mount. The way you dodge rolled off the mount into an attack was it? Yes! Yes! That looks fire. Ooh, the Azmoran Wisps looks dope. That one actually looks dope. The rogue eggs. Ooh. Green Rogue Exiles, 100 plus new support gems, 100 plus new uniques, new ascension classes, new in-game mechanics. We need a lot of new content. new maps, and much more. Looks fire. That trailer looks fire. I honestly think this is looking good. April 4th?
Now, as you can see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to PoE 2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior.
Okay, so it's a spear. I was close. I was saying it was a javelin, but not a spear. Ooh. I'm liking this. The Huntress? Yeah, I'm liking the Huntress so far. Looks pretty fire. Not gonna lie.
Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village.
Ooh.
As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle. Spears have extended range and a short dash, but unlike other melee weapons, you can also throw them.
That's the dopest part, is that they're
In order to make a
throwables.
hybrid ranged and melee character,
I think that's the dopest part, is that they're throwables and that we can definitely... Ooh, I could see some cool builds with the throwables.
to work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used, the bigger the whirlwind, and the bigger the explosion.
Yo, that is...
Once you're out of there, you'll want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes.
Yo, that was
These twisters
actually
bounce
dope.
off walls and can hit enemies multiple times. You can
It's not
also
Cyclone,
throw
but it's
twisters inside
something.
a whirlwind to shoot out extra
Ooh.
tornadoes that do way more damage. In her offhand, the Huntress will usually want to hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill, Parry. While holding down Parry, your character will counterattack any incoming attack from monsters near you, stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike. Some specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage.
I don't know how I feel about the parries and the blocks in the game, but it does add an extra layer. I do have to say that. Like putting skills on our shields. It's not like I run a shield on some of my builds, right? On a build or two, and I'm like never going out my way to use the block on my shield skill. I've never really seen a need for it. So, but with these melees, but that's because I haven't played a melee, so having to use it, I'm gonna give or take. Really check those out.
Is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy though, it causes an explosion and gives you a frenzy charge.
Ooh. That is mad nasty.
Just be careful. If
Yeah.
you parry too much, you're gonna get stunned and possibly killed. You can combine this combo with Whirling Slash. Slash, parry, disengage, and you'll get an
Okay, so they made it a negative to just keep parrying and then just stunning enemies on a hit. Okay. So you're gonna get a back. So there's a backlash for using it too much, which isn't that bad. But yeah, that's. Let's see how this go. How that plays.
The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks. You could use Lightning Spear to bounce lightning between your foes.
Yo, yeah, that's me dope.
Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do,
Ooh.
they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast. All spear throws on the Huntress can
I'm
also
a-
be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground. And these empowered versions can activate even more combos. Using Whirling Slash over ground fire will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion.
We'll have to say, I haven't played melee in this game yet. I hadn't built a melee build. I've built a, what is it? A summoner and then a spark build. So like, I'm gonna be dipping my toes into the melee aspect of this, and I'm not familiar with all the melee stuff because I haven't really dealt with it. But you know, hey, give or take, I'm definitely gonna give this a try, and it's probably gonna, suck.
Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes.
Oh,
Do
excuse
similar
me.
combos with ice and lightning too.
Oh,
Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your target and unleashes a deadly slash,
Ooh.
opening up wounds on your enemies. Follow up with Disengage and watch them bleed out as they run towards you.
oh,
On the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced, and the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this.
okay.
For example, using Blood Hunt will thrust forward and cause a bloody explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion.
Okay, so we're getting skills that take advantage of the fact that they bleed more. Like that. I like the in-depth use of the fact that, hey, that's a small wound. You're not going to deal as much extra damage with this other skill. Here's a large blood splatter. Now take maximum damage from this other skill that took advantage of that. That is actually pretty dope. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That is actually pretty dope. I like that idea. Good on you, GGG.
If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your enemy
excuse
for a
me.
big bleed. Now, explosive spear
Sorry,
and
my
Rapid
allergies
Assault
are, like,
both
killing
result
me
in
right
leaving
now.
spears behind,
So if
either
you
on the
like hear me
ground or in
sniffling and
enemies.
stuff, it's because my
There are other
allergies.
skills that leave spears around too, like Storm Lance, that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies.
Ooh.
But what can you do with all these spears? Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to jump onto and explode any
Ooh.
spears, either in the ground or in your enemy.
That I do like. I like the animations on
As well
that.
as hunting animals, the Huntress also has the ability to work with them. While fighting any beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion. You can only have one companion at a time, but it will keep the mods that were on it.
We're getting. I like this. This is exciting. We are getting the capabilities of turning our enemies into our companions, foes into friends, and they keep the mods that were on them. So you could potentially have extremely powerful companions. Wait, fire. Now I need to know if all the minions stuff works with this skill so that you can maximize it and basically make a build centering this. Because I definitely check that out.
Try to find a rare beast with good mods to take full advantage of your ability to tame them.
Ooh.
Now, this is just the beginning of the Huntress. We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy between ranged and melee options.
Nice.
There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By endgame, you'll be slinging hundreds of insanely powerful spears.
Like, every time I'm hearing them talk about there's 22 new skills, 100 new supports, this and that they've been talking about throughout this thing, it really shows that they're not even in full. This game isn't fully out yet. It's not in the free-to-play that they promised 1.0 out of beta. That goes to show that they're putting in some work into this game, and it is nice to see this. I'm definitely checking out some of the new classes. And we're going to definitely drop some stuff in it.
Sending forth spirit animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky.
Oh!
But we
That
still
was...
haven't talked about
I
the
like
Ascension classes yet.
that death ray,
Huntress Ascendant
that
is?
sunbeam.
Well, the first Ascension class you could choose is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions
Ooh.
by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and plague.
Sacrificing enemies.
Life Force skill causes all enemies around you to grow volatile blood boils on their skin.
Oh,
When
that
those
sounds
enemies are slain, the
sick.
boils will burst, spreading
I like
corrupted
that.
blood to all enemies around them. The Ritualist also excels in taking advantage of magical trinkets. The unfurled
Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry for the screaming. Sorry for that screaming, but... Extra ring slot? Holy shit. Extra ring slot. We're getting an extra ring slot on Ascensions. On this Ascension point. Unfurled for lead finger. +1 ring slot. Fuck. That is nice. That is how I want to know how that plays out in the end. I want to know how that plays out to the balancing of things. But yeah, that's gonna be nice. 3 rings and an amulet. Wow, they are taking a step. Have some nice ass classes. Sheesh. I like this already.
Finger skill allows you to equip an additional ring on a finger around your neck. Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped.
Okay, so Ritualist, basically, short note, ascendancy that's like, here, boost your gear, go for it. Boost gear. So it's a gear boosting ascendancy.
Now this is one of my favorites. As the Whisper's Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood, to give you one of their modifiers for a short time.
Okay.
Specialize further into ritualistic
That's like getting Headhunter, except you can only get 1 mod from them. You're not getting all their mods.
sacrifice with As the Whispers Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself.
Ooh.
The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important Asmeri elders, the Amazon
I like
uses
these
more
already.
traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars.
Oh my god.
While using Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse
Okay.
your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact.
Nice.
The Critical Strike
Ooh.
skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance. Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life, and Asmeri Brew to be able to use either flask to restore both life and mana. So those are the 2 new ascendancies for the Huntress. But those are not the only ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt. We've added a new ascension
Sheesh.
class for 3 of the other existing classes too. First up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can
Shit.
take your smithing
Oh, I
skills to
like
new
that.
heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally.
That is pretty far. I'm not gonna lie. GGG has outdone themselves with all this new shit here. Like, this is fucking insane. Just out in the battlefield, and all of a sudden I whip this shit out and I'm just crafting a weapon.
Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation. You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you.
Okay. I
A
like
great
that.
blacksmith can
I
do more
like
than
that.
just forging
I
their
like
weapon.
that.
Their armor can be enhanced too. Now you might think this ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right? Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points.
Oh, excuse me, but damn, god damn, this is fire. This is nice. I do. This ascension looks insane. This is fire. Wear a normal chest piece, and then you just throw whatever mods you want on it.
If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense.
Oh my
Now,
god.
let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hand, the Mercenary. Alongside
Ooh.
the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite.
Oh, excuse me.
Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like suppressing fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the right where we want them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to freeze. With a soldier's training, the Tactician also works well cooperatively.
Oh, now I can place multiple
Using the
banners.
Whoever pays best notable, you can place multiple banners at once.
Well, that is actually
The
pretty
Watch
nice.
How We Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell
Holy
and
shit.
carpet an entire area with arrows. Finally, Witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves. In
Yo, that's
Dawn of the
actually pretty
Hunt,
fire.
Introducing the Lich Ascension class. The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The Crystalline Phylactery
Ooh.
skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic
Okay, I
Conduit
see.
skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage.
Ooh. Definitely gonna be another
Capture the
class we're
soul
gonna
to
be
make
checking
enemies
out.
you curse explode with chaos damage when slain.
Okay, okay.
Dominion over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse.
Very dark.
It's safe to say you'll be the true master of the
This
occult.
ascendancy just feels very like, you know.
So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now you may remember we've previously talked about the Raise Spectre skill. It's finally complete,
Ooh.
and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion.
Holy
It can be
sh-
found in the Occult skills on the Soul Gem crafting panel.
Ooh, excuse me
Raise
again.
Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game,
Okay.
which you can then summon in the skill panel. Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die.
Oh.
The spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters.
Oh, that's fire.
You can combine them with your existing skeleton minions.
Now,
or
but can you
summon
revive the
exclusively
bosses?
spectres.
That's the real
All
question.
up to you and how you want to customize your army of the undead. Given that there are hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2,
Oh,
it's safe
shit.
to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best. Now let's move on to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive.
Oh, I like
In
that.
Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill.
Oh, what? Oh,
Summon your
this is...
friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed, even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though.
I like
If
it.
you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed.
Okay.
It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the
Ooh.
topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here. To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems. Hema crystals will enable a new
100?
kind of
Holy
bleed build,
shit.
turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive Vile crystals. Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling spears through
Holy
their
hell.
ranks. But there's plenty more for every playstyle.
God damn! He's like, yeah, I'm not cooking all 100,
Tempo.
but here's a list of random shit.
Profanity.
Force skill deals 30% more damage, chaos damage.
Retaliate.
Oh,
Syzygy. Yep, that's a real word.
scissors? What? And he's like, yeah, that's a real word.
And many more.
It's shit.
Now we've talked about a new
Yeah,
class,
many
new
more.
ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items. This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and end-game tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher-level characters. Let's look at some examples. Embrace your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based on your block chance.
Oh shit, that's fire.
The Coming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 Elemental Herald skills.
That's
without
nice.
Costing any spirit. At the same time, it minimizes enemy resistances. Wastegate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic or Archmage builds.
Ah.
With this belt, you can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you. Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say, though, we want there to be way more cool things to find. Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game.
Oh.
Given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through the end game as well.
Ooh.
One example is Scyther's Spear.
Okay, so physical fire, bleed. Aggravated bleeding with this weapon aggravates. Okay, so bleed to
which combines
ignite.
bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage. We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics. Kalgyra's Arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance.
Okay.
We're also adding our first unique charms. Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova whenever you do get ignited.
Oh shit.
In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it.
He's like,
Now,
break
we
the
also want to
game.
talk about crafting options. In each
Oh,
major
what are we
update
fixing
during
here?
early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I
What
just
do we
want to
got
mention the
going
changes
here?
to runes. Runes add commonly available mods, but since they only have 1 tier, flat damage mods tend to get outclassed by in-game. So
Yeah.
we've changed runes to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods
Ooh.
than before.
That
Our
is
plan
fire.
to significantly expand the number of more specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time. And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding
Damn.
Marian Wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame. The Ismeri spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare
What?
us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Ismeri hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters.
Yes.
Any monsters it comes into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Ismeri culture. This one is a wisp of the Great Bear, and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves
Oh,
faster
excuse
than
me
those who
again.
are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods.
Well, that's a nice.
As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability. Because this
Ooh.
was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury.
Ooh.
If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased. Each wisp has its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like the Wisp of the Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses.
Yeah.
As Marian Wisps can drop a new
Cat talisman, boar talisman, and rabbit talisman. Boots it against you have 10% reduced. Gloves gain 1% rage on melee hit. Body armor corrupted blood can't be inflicted on you.
set of socketable items that allow you to craft
Oh.
a wide range of interesting new mods onto your items. Each one may only be used on a specific item slot. As mentioned, the Asmerian
Ooh.
Wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Asmeri Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmeri once lived, now overrun with corrupt
New map?
monsters.
Nice.
This map always has multiple Asmerian Wisps in it, and familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight.
Ah.
Asmerian Wisps can also be further modified by the endgame Atlas tree as well,
Yo!
and by tablets.
That is gonna be fire. I fucked with that.
But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in in-game, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2.
Yes.
There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in. Path of Exile 2's early access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work. After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes. The first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt, we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame.
Okay, more
The second
content.
goal
I
is
like
to
that. I
smoothen the
like that.
progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with, let's talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Asmeri Ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps.
New
all
maps.
with their own
Yes.
custom
Yes.
encounters. Let's start with this one. The Feral Megaliths map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy. After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and
a new boss?
concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss. You
Ooh.
must fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another.
And then another. And another. As it gets harder and harder, right?
You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more
Yeah.
difficult. If you
Only
manage
makes
to
sense.
defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes. These can only be obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects.
Oh, that looks so
As you move
dope.
around the map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so you're always
That looks
fighting
so
all the same
dope.
rare at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it.
Ooh.
The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other.
Oh,
The
that's
last
not
unique
bad.
map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center. It is surrounded by many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences.
Huh.
By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they hold will be upgraded to a greater essence and be added to the imprisoned map boss.
Nice, nice.
How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice. Speaking of essences,
Sheesh.
alongside visual improvements, you're now able to apply Varlorbs to corrupt the essences with
Okay.
a range of unpredictable outcomes. It could increase the number
Give us
of
reasons to
essences,
carry
reroll
Varlorbs
all the
around
essences
now.
to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences. What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too. We have 4
Holy
new
shit, that's
corrupted
nice.
essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity.
Yo.
Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example, the essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around it. Each
Nuts.
of these has their own crafting outcomes. The essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Varlorb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments.
Okay. Whoa.
It's worth noting all
Ooh,
the
I
essences
like
in the
that.
unique
I
map
like
can
that.
also
I
be
like these
corrupted
crafting
too,
tips.
if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
Okay.
Now, new maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content and that it could be lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run. On your travels, you will
Cool.
sometimes encounter rogue exiles.
Yo, we're
Others
bringing
like
Rogue
you who
Exiles
have
to
been
Path of Exiles
exiled
2.
and are openly hostile.
Hell yeah.
Some are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death. They use the same skills available to players, and even the same items. They aren't just
Shit.
dressed up in those items, they're actually using them. It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation.
That is actually pretty
Of
dope.
course, if you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground. So
Oh.
if you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you
Yo,
want to
that
make damn
is-
sure you kill them. Because if they kill you,
That is actually pretty
they'll
dope.
portal out, taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped with. These exiles are much smarter than your
Oh,
regular
did they bring back their portals?
They have capabilities to dodge roll.
It says 6
avoid
portals
your
remaining.
abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay.
Okay.
Fortunately, they're like you, and they're not super durable. Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Calm's Heart, in which case, expect a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue
No.
exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat. Another encounter you might stumble
That
onto
is
in
actually
Dawn
pretty
of the
dope.
Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes. Strongboxes are chests with modifiers. When you try to open them, they activate traps and spawn waves.
I don't
of
like the way
monsters
the
that you
new
must defeat
strong
to access
boxes
the
work.
loot. Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find
Oh.
and behave just a little bit differently.
Ooh, they look nice. Some
The
strong
Ogum's
boxes look
Legacy
nice.
Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which
Huh.
revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox comes with a modifier which determines how many
Shit.
times it will revive that rare. Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster.
Until you
With
beat it like
each
5 times.
resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding.
Yeah.
This strongbox is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient Val technology.
31
Each shell's
packs.
core
Holy
has a
shit.
powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by chaos
Shit.
itself.
That is insane.
Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item with a specific corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other 2 for yourself to see what they do.
They ain't showing shit.
Let's talk
But
about the
to
introduction
be-
to the endgame.
But bits and
Upon
pieces.
starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps. We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting. Now,
Huh.
Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective. On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast. In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction. In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work on improving these monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps to make them more interesting and more rewarding. Once you reach the Nexus, you will have a new task: cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses, amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. Once the
Nice.
remains of the boss are purged of corruption,
Shit, yeah.
coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree. The upgrade system that allows you to add and enhance content in your maps. We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss, and their own set of modifiers and rewards, including finding fracturing orbs by slaying.
All I gotta say is, Fire. Pause it here. Fire. Love how many maps they've added, how much stuff they've added to these maps, and how much more stuff we can do in these maps. It is insane. DGG is doing wonderful jobs. I like the idea of cleansing maps. And then, you get cleanse modifiers on your maps, which also gives another, layer to the map itself. Nice layer touch. Nice touch, nice layer. I like the layers they're adding to these maps. They know how to build a game. GGG knows how to build a game. GGG knows how to fucking fix a game, work with the game, and everything. It is so nice. It is fire. I love this.
Cleansed enemies. These orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become fractured.
Also, another thing I have to say is I like how many more, how many more, how do I word this? How many more, crafting mats we're getting, materials, mats, how much crafting shit we're getting, too, in this new update, giving us so much more. I love it. I love it. It's just, icing on the cake. More to the crafting.
A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring
That
the
is
fractured
nice.
modifier will never change. If you get the right item with the right mod, it can prove to be a very powerful crafting base indeed. You must now choose.
That is nice.
Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed. Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess. Now, let's have a talk about towers.
Before we get into this, towers are the things I want to hear the most about because they aren't as helpful as they should be. They aren't. They don't do enough for me to want to sit here and craft these crazy tablets and throw them in the maps.
One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the busy work around running towers and managing your tablets.
Putting 3?
The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers
Okay.
drastically. So there are now 1/3 as many as before, but we've made them
That I like, though. There's less of them, and I bet you they're going to make them larger range and give us 3 slots. Watch me call it.
much more powerful. To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics. But that's
Okay.
not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets.
Whew.
By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before. So, we're running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even
I
more
like
maps
that.
than before. But because there are fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the Waystone, you can unlock a
Yo.
2nd or 3rd slot. Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers, while drastically reducing the amount of busy work you have to do. On
Nice.
top of that, towers are much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses.
That I
Each
like.
tower map has a new boss. Let's take a look at a couple here. The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory. One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither.
Yeah.
The boss of the Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that
Oh.
has been charged with the lightning.
That looks fire. I like the way these bosses look. I like the aesthetics with these bosses. You have to say
It
that.
uses a full suite of lightning abilities. But be careful. If any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up. Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining Waystones.
Yo.
As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain Waystones were dying a lot. A lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something.
Yeah.
During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges. You are able to learn how the monsters behave,
Yeah,
adapt
it's
to
just
their
a
skills,
tutorial.
and eventually overcome them. But as soon as you get to the end game, you're effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain waystones.
So
By
true.
the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it certainly shouldn't be that we have such a sudden shift as you run your first maps. The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die.
Yeah! Woo! I love it. We got portals. We got portals. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my god, this update is insane. I love it. I like it. It's amazing. It is
Continuing from where you left off,
fire.
when you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map.
6.
As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down. This
Okay.
means that as you get to the
That now this year I don't mind. Now they added that we get less each time we go up in mods. I don't mind that at all. Gives it the more difficulty, as everybody wants, more difficult gameplay in game, right? Makes sense. Easier maps, respawn as much as you want. Learn the map, learn the mechanic that could spawn in here, and then add your shit as you go on. Got it. Love that. That is nice.
point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful. In parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times.
Wait, so it's not just individual portals like in the first one where it's each person gets one portal? And then if there's not a full party, then they can come back through the portals that are left over? Everybody gets 3 portals? Everybody gets 6 portals? I love that. That is... voila.
But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight,
shit.
it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time.
Respawn everybody at once? Fuck yeah! Woo! Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death.
I love that too. I am tired of dying to something extremely out of this world and then losing all my XP. But the fact that you can't gain XP from it gives it the trade-off. I like the trade-off. It's nice. Another nice touch there.
Death either. Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch of Twilight Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items.
Oh.
For example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zed.
That is nice. Ooh.
We're also making a change that allows pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find. This applies to the drop chances for the reliquary keys from this content.
Damn,
as
we got
well.
a diamond.
We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique
Unique ones!
Each
Ooh.
of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example, this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections, which can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around your atlas.
That's just nice.
This tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens
That is
all
nice.
expedition monsters that emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and
Like
you
it.
can find many of the new mechanics there, and improvements to existing ones too. Now, through this live stream, we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options
Huh.
that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences,
Yes.
fractured mods,
Yes.
and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about.
A new crafting system.
Recombination. Expedition was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players. It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item. This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition,
Nice.
and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it. The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost. That wraps up all the major in-game changes we're talking about today. With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues, so you can play your existing characters. However, there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy.
Okay.
It is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.
I'll be doing the new leagues.
For all our existing early access players, we're really looking forward to joining you playing in this new update. For those who don't already have access and are interested in playing Path of Exile 2 Dawn of the Hunt, you are able to at any time purchase an early access supporter pack at www.pathofexile2.com. Additionally, the Paladin and Penance supporter packs are now available to purchase in Path of Exile 2.
Oh my god, guys. That was insane. I liked that. That was nuts. That was crazy work. That was, I love the new update. This new update here is having me stoked. I just want to go in there, grind it, grab all the items, get all the good loot and stuff, and just ace this one. But yeah, this is fire. With that said, I do love this new shit we're getting. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good one. I want to hear you guys' opinions in the comments down below for sure. So just let me know down in that comment below what you think about this. Make sure you hit that bell notification and that subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. And make sure you like it. And peace out.